This is Eddie Hearn, Matchroom Boxing. You are watching Sporting Icons. You don't need to be anywhere else.
So Eddie Hearn, he spoke to Sky Sports and he said about the one time that he actually seen Frank Warren in the flesh. Okay, and apparently throughout all the years of all the dealings with Frank Warren and of course his dad Barry Hearn, Eddie Hearn's never actually met Frank Warren. In fact, he's only ever seen him the one time. And while Eddie Hearn is, his statement is kind of funny in some ways, but these are the kind of things that will hold up potential fights because Eddie Hearn, he can't help but rib Frank Warren. He can't help but have something to do with Frank Warren. Frank Warren, he's old school, so he takes things very, very personally, which means certain fights may not get made or may not get made as quickly as they should because there's bitterness there. And these kind of things are not going to help. And I'm hoping that Eddie Hearn and Frank Warren actually work together. I genuinely want to see these two working together once boxing resumes. Put on a couple of pay-per-views together. I've said it before and I'll say it again. What's wrong with Daniel Dubois versus Joe Joyce on the same card as Joshua versus Pulev or White versus Povetkin? I don't care who the headliner is, but what's wrong with doing that? Give back to the fans, because fans, this whole situation throughout the world, a lot of people are going to be financially stricken. A lot of people are losing their jobs. And all Eddie Hearn and Frank Warren's going to be concerned about, and Sky Sports and BT's going to be concerned about, is booking up as many damn dates as they possibly can and trying to get as much money out of the pockets as from the fans that they possibly can. Fans won't have as much money for the foreseeable future, who knows. But anyway, this is what Eddie Hearn had to say about Frank Warren. He said to Sky Sports, "I've never spoken to Frank Warren in my life, remarkably. The only time," and it's quite a funny story actually, I came out of a meeting with Sky with Adam Smith, and I think it was Barney Francis. We'd just done a new Sky deal. And I turned left out of a restaurant and I was walking down the road. I had my briefcase, I was obviously quite happy, and I was just going hum. And as I've looked up, in front of me, 10 yards in front of me, is Frank outside of a restaurant on the phone. And it was one of those really awkward moments where it was like, do we shake hands? He sort of looked at me and I looked at him and I gave him a wink and went, "All right, Frank." And that was it, and walked off. And that's the only time we spoke. Eddie Hearn's statement. So, while it's quite funny and I could see why it is that Eddie Hearn is talking about that, because first of all he spoke to Sky Sports, so of course he's talking about when he signed a new deal with Sky Sports. He was really happy. Frank Warren at that time, I'm presuming, was still with Box Nation, so I hadn't quite got the BT Sport deal. I'm presuming anyway, because I don't quite know when the time frame was. And Eddie Hearn just walked past, give him a wink, is just say, "Yep, I'm the man," and walked off. So in some ways it's kind of funny, but in other ways this is the kind of thing that is going to really upset Frank Warren. And as I said before, I want to see these two working together. I don't want to be seeing no more of both of these saying, yeah, of course we'll work together, of course we will. And then sarcastic digs from either side, which is going to upset the other one to stop these guys actually working together. I want to see these guys working together for the good of British boxing. I don't care about your damn rivalry. I don't care whether or not you like each other. You don't need to like each other to work together. You just need to work together. Frank Warren's got to stay with the fighters. Eddie Hearn's got to stay with the fighters. What's wrong with intermixing them? What's wrong with having, say, for example, the Newcastle show up here? Obviously headlined by Lewis Ritson. They've got Tommy Ward on the card. They've got Joe Laws, April Hunter, so forth and so forth. But there's other fighters from here in the Northeast who will not be on the card because they're part of Frank Warren's team. And it shouldn't be that way. Of course, I'm talking about like Troy Williamson. I'm talking about Joe Mafosa. I'm talking about Jeff Saunders. There's a couple of others, I believe, as well. Why can't he let them fight on that particular show? What's wrong with doing that? But this kind of thing will probably end up stopping it. And I'm kind of hoping that these two have a clean slate when all this situation in the world is cleared out and boxing resumes, that these guys go, right, you know what? Let's put the past to the past, put it to bed, shake hands, let's put on a couple of shows together. Let's give back to the fans, as Frank Warren say, give back to the fans. I hope that's what happens, but with these kind of comments, while they're quite funny, isn't going to close that gap. Drop your thoughts below, click thumbs up, subscribe, catch you all on the next video.